Good morning, folks. I'm out here at the park with the dog. I'm under a metal roof here, so you're probably going to hear me pretty good I'm using my hearing aids, so you're using two microphones here. Quiet. She's become impatient. She just ran a couple of miles and now she wants to do some more. She's getting better. I really appreciate that. Those of you praying for her and for me, I appreciate that. Look, folks, there's a principle which you need to understand, and we call it a defense mechanism. And the purpose of a defense mechanism is to reduce one's anxiety. So one of those major ones is projection. And in projection, you project whatever you're doing, usually subconsciously, on the other party, on the neighbor. These days, though, it's not a defense mechanism. It's more of an offense tool, a weapon. And in case you're wondering, whoever's making the accusation quite often is guilty of what they're accusing the other of. In which case, I'd point out in particular the Democrat Party accusing Trump of being a Russian agent, to the point where even my neighbor seriously, sincerely believes that Trump is a Russian agent. I think he was the closest thing to a true American president we've had during most of my life, probably excluding Kennedy, who they felt so threatened by they had to whack him. Turns out now the FBI doesn't want to release their files on Selfridge for 66 years. Why is the FBI obstructing justice? What are they hiding? Dog shaking at the end of the leash, which is on my wrist, which the phone is in my hand. I think the reason that the FBI is hiding it is because they had something to do with the death of Seth Rich. I think the FBI is guilty of that. The FBI had a major role in the Oklahoma City bombing. They made sure it happened, and then they escorted the bomber through Nova Scotia out of the country safely 9 months after the bombing. Try to remember the guy's name. Andy Straussman. Oh boy, we got a puppy dog running free on a leash, and my dog wants to go play. But most people look at my dog and think she's dangerous, and she's not. She's never been aggressive with another dog yet, which kind of bothers me a little bit. Quiet, no bark. Everything's fine, Lorraine. Quiet, it's okay. Come here. She gets pretty defensive. So, basically, we're sort of stuck in a bunch of traps here, if you will. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. You've got the Democrats claiming that the Republicans are going to steal the election. Well, we're going to prevail. That's all there is to it. But they've got to misname it as theft. When it's not. However, I do think that we have the theft of the election for the Senate in Pennsylvania. It's already in the mix. You got 250,000 ballots out there that aren't accounted for properly, were issued improperly, and so I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Fetterman, who's not able to hold office. Look, folks, I had 2 strokes in 2006. It took me out of the professional practice of psychology. I have my limitations because of those strokes. Now, I feel a heck of a lot more fit for office than Fetterman. Fetterman not only can't think on his feet, the odds are he's not going to make a recovery. I'm sorry, folks. That's just the way it is. Most stroke damage is permanent. The blood is very caustic in the brain material, and that's it. And I lost a heck of a lot when I had my strokes. Fetterman's not going to be fit for any office at all. And you people thinking that you're supporting the underdog, you're pretty cruel. It's like that son of a bitch you put in the presidency. I mean, that's kind of cruel. He's not up to the task. Of course, he's not running that show at all. It's Barack Obama's 3rd term as president. So you need to understand something. The slinging's going to get big and deep, and don't worry. Somebody will get violent. It's coming from the left, just like it did on Paul Pelosi. That came from the left. The attacker was left-oriented. Now they're trying to claim he's right-wing or something like that. Look, folks, I only got one friend who's more to the right than I am, and he's extreme right, and that's all right. I mean, when you look at his job descriptions and the positions he's had some pretty incredible positions. So it's just the way he's always going to be. That's all there is to it. Anyway, I think I've been too soft during my life. I've been the brunt of a lot of projections where people project their stuff upon me, and I've suffered for it. And mostly, for the most part, it's been liberals projecting their shit. I think one of the weirdest things ever was sitting in a staff meeting among the other psychologists, mental health professionals in the prison, and they decided they wanted to profile one of these mass shooters. I think the mass shooting was occurring in Virginia. It's a couple of guys. I think somebody was hiding in a car. They had removed the headlights or something, were shooting through the body of the car, so they weren't very easily detected. Something comes to mind in particular. There was a young guy and an old guy involved in that. Look, folks, these accusers are usually guilty of this stuff themselves. And if not, then definitely they're revealing their true feelings and true intentions. When they have power, they are going to do a lot more. They've been actually forcing people to do things which are shortening their lives. We're going to see such a massive die-off in this country. It's not funny. There won't be enough people around to bury the bodies. It's looking really bad. As far as this election goes, quiet. You got that sharp bark that cuts right through my head. Now, quiet. I'll pet you. Feel like I'm being blackmailed in some ways. You know, I've got to pet her. Oh well, she's on a leash, doesn't want to be on a leash, and she's seen other dogs run free, and this is not a leash-free area. I'll be the one getting in trouble. I don't need that. Of course, I'm wearing my red hat. It was given to me. My other hat that I liked wearing was the dog took it, ate the button off the top and shredded it up, and it was a real comfortable hat, and I liked wearing it. And it was far more subdued than this thing here, you know. This is my Trump hat. You know, as far as I'm concerned, Trump did a lot of wrong things, a lot of bad things. He certainly appointed the wrong people to office. That attorney general of his, that big fat dude, he was evil. He helped conspire to take Trump down. Didn't care about the rule of law. He had all kinds of excuses for his compatriots. He was a deep state creature in the highest order, and he covered up for the bad people. I still want to know what happened to Epstein's list. That should be made public. The Seth Rich files should be made public now, not later, because they're afraid it'll take the Democrats out of power. Because I think the Democrats killed their own boy. I think they went after Seth Rich. They discovered that Seth Rich had betrayed Hillary and Bill. Why? Because he was standing up for the truth and justice. Bernie Sanders should have been the doggone candidate. That's all there was to it. I don't care much for Bernie. I don't want him anywhere near that office. I think him and his wife, a couple of crooks and criminals. He definitely loves the USSR and communism, but even those folks aren't as communist as they once were. Folks, it is a crazy, crazy world. And so you need to understand that projection used to be a defense mechanism to reduce one's anxiety. It's become a major weapon at this point. It's an offensive tool that they use. So when you hear the accusations coming, quiet, Lorraine, come, sit. When you hear the accusations coming, look at the person making the accusation and reverse what they're saying. Just invert it completely, and you'll be closer to the truth right away. And look carefully at the whole situation, because we've been lied to and deceived to the point where we've lost our country, we've lost our republic, and I don't know if we're going to get it back. At this point, the Chi-Coms, they're the superpower. They rule the world. They rule us economically, electronically. They provide all of our medicines even. I mean, the stupidity, the sheer insanity at the top that we got suckered into. because we were going to get better jobs. They were going to be stuck with the menial tasks, and we were going to get better jobs. Oh, hell no, they gutted us. It's just like what's going on with energy today. We're not going to have greener, cleaner energy. There's no such thing as green energy. There's no such thing as totally clean energy. Now, there may be fusion reactors coming around the corner. We seem to have pursued the worst track possible for nuclear reactors, and they are dangerous. We could have gone other routes, but the evil ones control it all, and they made sure that we didn't go with the safer reactors that we could have in the 50s. So we have tremendous problems going on, a lot of accusations. They're trying to stick everything upon the right wing so they can go after us. And even your FBI claims that white supremacy, that's the biggest danger in the country. Well, white self-defense is the biggest danger in the country because we're going to be defending ourselves. We have to. So I don't give a damn what your race is. Got a couple of black ladies approaching me out here now. But the fact is that we all have a right to exist. We all have a right to be. And you guys are trying to take it away from me and away from my kind. Be quiet. Be quiet. Everything is good. Okay. Come here. Sit. She needs to be commanded more. She needs more orders. She needs more structure. Sounds like the whole country could benefit from that. I really think that the FBI is no good. I really think we need to take it apart as fast as possible. I do think that this election, that even Republicans taking the House and the Senate, that they will do nothing. They're part of the problem. It's just another wing of the same dirty bird. And there's major problems with that. They will not enforce the rule of law. Oh, lovers out here on the swings. Another loving couple out on the merry-go-round a little bit ago. It was nice to see these youngsters play and having fun and enjoying themselves. It's nice to see them with their youth and their vigor and their vim and being in love. It's good to see that. Come here. Come here. Everything's fine. She's paying too much attention to the other folks. Well, I just wanted to tell you about projection and the fact that it's no longer a defense mechanism. Sit, Lorraine. Sit. Good girl. It's no longer a defense mechanism. It's an offensive mechanism used primarily by the left. Don't get suckered into it. Be careful. Be very careful. It's going to be kind of a rough week because the Democrats do not lose politely. They will see to it that there are riots. This time, though, I think you better get your rifles out because we're going to need to put them down. We are going to need to be able to do that. Forget about your handguns. Forget about your shotguns. You're going to need rifles to be able to take out these targets. And remember this, in most states, it's completely legal to shoot somebody setting fire to a building that's occupied. That's justifiable homicide. That's all there is to it. So there are times in which you can take a man's life and it's totally defensible. You see somebody setting fire to a building and you know it's occupied, go ahead. No warning shots. Just take them out. This could be a rough go. Then again, who knows? We could get attacked during this whole damn thing. And remember, it's on that Chi-Com agent you guys put in the White House. Or wherever the hell he's at, because it's not the Oval Office on those stage sets. It's horrible what we've allowed to be done to us. We let them project their shit on us, and we questioned ourselves. It's time we started questioning them. And the FBI is no good. They need to be taken apart, completely dishandled. 66 years on the Seth Rich file? Why is that? To hell with it. A murder was committed. The FBI has no business covering it up. The Department of Justice has no business covering up the murders. As a matter of fact, that's a crime. Yahweh bless.